Welcome to the Cobra Kai recap. Decades after losing the All Valley tournament, Johnny's life has been going downhill. An alcoholic that beats Miguel's bullies up for touching his car. Helpless Miguel had just moved into the apartment complex and requests karate lessons to defend himself. So Johnny brings back Cobra Kai, the art of the fist and striking first. After cleaning the dojo and several drowning exercises, Johnny starts to bond with Miguel like his own son. Speaking of his own son, Robbie is a dropout that partakes in crime time to time. He resents his father for abandoning them and lives with his mother that is always out drinking or trying to find a new man to date. Miguel isn't popular in school, hanging out with the nerds, but he does have a crush on Samantha. But once Kyla makes up rumors about her, he defends her honor and beats him in a fight. The video goes viral, making Miguel and karate popular, gaining Sensei Lawrence more students. Daniel LaRusso owns a car dealership. Once he spots the Cobra Kai dojo has reopened, he decides to start training in Miyagi-Do again. All his children are bored of it, so when a new employee, Robbie, joins, he takes quite a liking and teaches him the way Miyagi does. Miguel finally asks Sam out on a date, and they become boyfriend and girlfriend. They are apprehensive about sharing this, knowing the Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do rivalry. After a long solo drinking and waiting session, Robbie arrives with Sam. He assumes that she is cheating on him and tries to fight Robbie. There they break up and she blames Cobra Kai for it. In the aftermath of car burning, bike fighting shenanigans, LaRusso and Lawrence almost face off, until his wife convinces him to just replace the car, and Lawrence wraps it into a Cobra Kai mobile. They start to become close, having the same taste in rock music and stalking the same ex Allie on Facebook, until Lawrence realizes that LaRusso has been training Robbie in Miyagi-Do. This fuel is used in the All Valley tournament. Also, the nerd lip guy transformed into Hawk. He is super aggressive and gets disqualified. In the end, it is Diaz vs Keen, and Miguel pulls out the finishing blow, winning the All Valley tournament. Hearing of the Cobra Kai win, Sensei Kreese wants back in. Noticing him living in a homeless shelter, Lawrence gives him a second chance, so they both teach Cobra Kai. LaRusso reopens Miyagi-Do, and even Sam joins now. So the dojos commence training. His relationship with Robbie is still awkward because he is apologizing, but Robbie isn't receptive. Miguel figures out that his karate mortal enemy is Sensei Lawrence's biological son, Robbie. Lawrence smooths it over by promising to teach him right and not abandon him like he did Robbie. He also learns about the internet, satisfying all his needs. Realizing that Miyagi-Do has an advertisement, they start to run those too, even trumpeting their dojo at a festival, getting more recruits, such as Raymond, a man-child, and Tori, a strong fighter. This doesn't last too long, as Hawk's girlfriend breaks up with him for being too aggressive, and Kreese gets him back to the way of the fist. So they trash Miyagi-Do and steal Mr. Miyagi's Medal of Honor. Fed up with Cobra Kai, LaRusso confronts Lawrence, exposing the whole scheme, because karate is just for defense. This earns him some students that want to fight in Miyagi-Do. One of those is Dimitri. Cobra Kai was too harsh on him, and being in the nerd group, he decided to join Miyagi-Do. Trying to get Miguel out of love with Sam, Tori falls in love, and they start to share saliva. Shannon left the Cabo with her new boyfriend, and forgot to pay the bills. LaRusso forced Robbie to stay with him, because they have an extra bedroom. Two teenagers under a roof causes too much tension, so they too share some saliva. This calls for the couples to harass each other every time they are out, adding to the Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do rivalry. On one drunk night, Miguel regrets what he said, and admitted that he had returned the Medal of Honor from Hawk. She too admits her faults, and in a drunken state they share more saliva. Tori had saw all of this, and calls her out during the school intercom. The entire school breaks out into karate fights all throughout. Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai. Tori and Sam are fighting, with Tori scratching her up. On the top floor, reminded of Sensei Lawrence to show mercy, Robbie takes this moment to kick Miguel off the railing. He is hospitalized and in a comatose state. Lawrence had a crush on Carmen Diaz, but after Miguel's coma, she never wants to see him again. Also, with Lawrence out, Kreese steals Cobra Kai from under him. He renounces Cobra Kai and leaves his car on the beach. After waking up, Miguel begins to recover quickly using Sensei Lawrence's odd techniques. He is finally able to stand. This gives him the chance to school with his mum. Without Cobra Kai, Sensei Lawrence decides to reopen a new dojo named Eagle Fang Karate. At Cobra Kai, Kreese begins to wean out all the weak, kicking out contenders that don't meet his standard and adding new athletes to the mix, including Kyla. LaRusso decides to close his dojo, scared of causing more harm between their feud. He reaches out to Robbie and convinces him to accept his sentence for a lesser punishment. LaRusso tries to pick up the pieces from his car dealership that he has been neglecting, traveling to Japan to meet with his old friends, and one that is vice president of Doyono, which helps him ensure his dealership is in safe hands. He also meets with Chosen, one of his previous enemies, but now grown up they spar, and he is taught the vital points that can numb a person. Now split into different dojos, Miguel and Tori breaks up, not in Cobra Kai anymore. Sam and Miguel begin to rebuild their relationship and start getting a little close. At this time, Robbie got out from serving time and spotted them playing together. Also assuming that they are dating, he breaks up with Sam and starts to live at the Cobra Kai dojo, spending more time with Tori. No, Dimitri has managed to attract popular girl Yasmin, so now they are dating. Lawrence receives a friend request from Ali, his ex. He takes the time to take her out and they spend the day together. He somewhat wants to be with her, but also remembers he is in love with Carmen. They even run into LaRusso at the party. During this adult argument of realizing they are both really similar and really hate each other, the Cobra Kais break into LaRusso's house and begin viciously assaulting the Miyagi-Dos and Eagle Fang. Hawk switch aside and they successfully run them off. Lawrence arrives too late, realizing that Robbie has joined Cobra Kai under Sensei Kreese. They decide to settle it at the next All Valley tournament. Whoever wins doesn't have to shut down their dojo. So LaRusso and Lawrence team up, and so do Miyagi-Dos and Eagle Fangs. Lawrence and LaRusso have teamed up, but it doesn't mean Kreese can't do that too. He reaches out to an old friend he made in the Vietnam War, manipulating him into coming back, as he did save his life in the war. So now rich entrepreneur Terry Silver, original co-founder, is back with Cobra Kai. LaRusso and Lawrence try to stick together, teaching each other the way of the fist and to look for inner peace through Miyagi's teachings. But overall, figuring out that Terry Silver is back, LaRusso wants to take over training for the entire cohort, and Johnny won't allow it. So they battle for who will be the sensei, and they both lose. So now they split their dojos once again. Not allowed to fight before the All Valley tournament, the Cobra Kais ambush Hawk and shave his mohawk. Also, Miguel and Sam are back to dating. All that teen romance got to them. After one too many sabotages, Tori and Robbie begin dating too. On a side note, Anthony LaRusso starts to attend school, bullying a kid named Kenny Payne. Without any options, he turns to his brother in prison, Sean, who knew Robbie when they were sentenced. He links them up, but he isn't a good fit for Cobra Kai. Robbie in his spare time teaches him some basics and how to use his speed as an advantage. He returns to Cobra Kai and outthinks Kyler, earning himself a place in the dojo. After weeks of harassment, he finally beats the bullies up. On top of that, they are suspended. Daniel now realizes that his son is a bully and makes him join Miyagi-Do teachings. Hoisted in Miyagi-Do teachings, Sam strives to learn more Eagle Fang, and conversely, Miguel too. He tries to learn more Miyagi-Do for the tournament. The karate committee announces that the All Valley tournament will have a boys and a girls section, but overall, points will determine the best dojo in the valley, meaning that Eagle Fangs need to seek out a girl, Devon Lee from the debate team. She learns fast. Miguel was sat down and told about Carmen and Johnny's relationship, and we skip to the All Valley tournament. Cobra Kai wins most of the matches. It is now Robbie vs Kenny, and with his sensei's teachings, he destroys him. Infuriated, in the locker room, he runs into Anthony LaRusso. Kenny begins beating him over and over, only stopped when Robbie intervenes. The only way Miyagi and Eagle Fang don't have to shut down is if Miyagi-Do wins every fight and Cobra Kai loses. The final in the boys is Robbie vs Hawk. Distracted during the fight, Hawk takes the win. In the girls tournament, Devon had already been knocked out. The finals is Tori vs Sam, and after a long fought battle, Tori pulls out the win, earning herself the All Valley champion and making Cobra Kai the overall winner. Terry Silver announces that Cobra Kai is expanding to new locations and across the valley, even to their original dojo. Johnny goes to pay tribute to the strip mall and runs into Robbie, apologizing for how he might have ruined a kid's life. They rekindled their father-son relationship. LaRusso decides against shutting down his dojo, assuming that Cobra Kai wouldn't have done that if they won, and requests that Chosen help him train the kids. Lawrence's girlfriend tells him about how Miguel had run away to Mexico in hopes of finding his father, that they abandoned. He promises to go out and find Miguel. After her long fought battle, Tori overhears Terry Silver paying the ref for letting her win. He celebrates with Kreese, acknowledging that Johnny Lawrence is his only weakness, as police arrest him. A while back, Stingray had tried to rejoin Cobra Kai after a long probation for joining the kids' karate battle at school. He was turned away until Terry Silver started beating him. They made a deal where if he said Kreese had beat him, he could rejoin, taking Kreese out of the picture. Tori is now the star pupil and the champion of the dojo, as they build more Cobra Kai dojos and transform dojos. Devon has also become another Cobra Kai member. She confronts Terry about the rigged victory, and he admits it, saying he would go to any lengths to make sure they won. Terry Silver reaches out to his connects in Japan and flies out multiple senseis. Warned multiple times to leave him alone, LaRusso constantly gets in the way of Terry Silver. Him and Chosen are worried that he might recruit old allies like Mike Barnes, so they reach out first, and after a mini fight, they realize he is out of the game, and they try to get him on their side before Silver does. Learning of this, he burns down Barnes' furniture store. Out of the hospital, Stingray is given a new car and an apartment to stay at. LaRusso learns of his scheme through a newspaper clipping and tries to locate Stingray. Failing to make him cooperate, he breaks his PlayStation. Realizing his error, he tries to replace it and is beaten by Silver. Meanwhile, Lawrence had enlisted the help of Robbie on a bonding trip to try and locate Miguel, coming to terms that his biological father is a terrible person. He goes with Lawrence and Robbie back home. Robbie and Miguel still have a massive rivalry over karate and their girlfriends. A drunk LaRusso advises him to let them have an all-out brawl, as back in their day, if they did that, maybe their dispute would have ended. This ends their rivalry, and they become somewhat friends. Weirdly, John has been cleaning up his life and his apartment, because he let slip that he and Carmen are having a baby. This time he won't abandon them. Terry Silver is trying to take Cobra Kai global by entering the Sekai Taikai, a global karate tournament, but Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang join too. After that long drunk LaRusso advice session, they become friends once more and decided to rejoin forces in a tournament style battle. Kenny beats Hawk and Tori gears up to verse Sam, but she pulls out last second, so Devon is made to fight Sam. She loses, so they both have a ticket to the Sekai Taikai. Tori pulled out because she felt guilty about the victory she had against Sam, admitting it. She teams up with the Miyagi-Dos and Eagle Fangs to finally take down Terry Silver once and for all. Across town, drunk and angry, Lawrence, Chosen and Barnes hijack the party to go beat up Terry at his house, where he would never expect them. Chosen breaks off to duel Terry. Lawrence with the senseis. At Cobra Kai, Dimitri and Hawk download the camera footage as the group hold off the Cobra Kais. They upload the footage of Terry Silver admitting he rigged the match for Tori to win. After slicing up Chosen, Lawrence and Barnes escape. Silver makes it to the dojo, where his students have seemed to lost faith. LaRusso shows up for their final battle, where he is victorious and his students leave Cobra Kai. Stingray admits that it was actually Silver and he is arrested. Kenny realizes his wrongdoings and the couples get back together. Also, Chosen is alive. In the end, Chris was stabbed to death in a fight, but during the autopsy, they realize it was just Jello. He incapacitates the doctors and escapes in uniform. They learn that he is on the run. This is where the series ends. Make sure to subscribe, and for more, watch this.